Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a subject that is often whispered about, but rarely really analyzed with clarity.
hmm
Why does desire seem to just disappear in long-term relationships? And crucially, how the solutions are so different depending on, your age and your life stage.
And that's such a vital point because when desire changes, the immediate reaction for so many people, especially women, is this deep sense of shame.
Right. Guilt.
Yeah, this feeling that they must be broken. We want to be really clear right from the start that desire is not some fixed thing. It's incredibly complex.
It's an interplay of so many factors.
It is. It reflects your hormones, your emotional state, stress, and yeah, the day-to-day reality of your relationship.
Yeah. And the sources for today structure this so well by giving us two really distinct perspectives. First, we have Emily. She's 32, and her issues are, well, they seem purely psychological, rooted in routine.
And then you have Laura, who's 42, and she's facing the physical and hormonal shifts that come with perimenopause.
By contrasting them, we can stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, okay, is this a problem of biology or is it a problem of predictability? Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's dive straight into Emily's story. So she's 32, 5 years into what sounds like a really stable, healthy relationship.
They don't fight much, they support each other, it's good.
Exactly. But she says she feels bored, disconnected, and even like annoyed when her partner initiates. And the source is clear. No pain, no dryness. This is all in her head.
This is the predictability trap we hear about. And I find this distinction so fascinating. Losing novelty does not mean you've lost love.
No.
In fact, the very thing that makes them great partners, that stability, is actively what the material calls damaging for desire. So why? What's the mechanism there?
Well, desire, especially that spontaneous kind, it thrives on things like novelty, tension, a bit of contrast. Think about the brain's reward system.
Dopamine.
Right, dopamine. It fires when something is unexpected or new. Stability, well, it's the opposite of that. It's repetitive.
Yeah.
It's predictable. And that just desensitizes the brain.
So the body just anticipates everything.
It anticipates the same steps, the same duration, the same outcome every single time. And when Emily described their intimate routine as predictable steps, lasting maybe 10 minutes, and feeling like she was performing.
Ugh, that word, performing.
That's the exact mechanism that just slams the brakes on the excitement center of the brain.
It's like a performance review, not passion. And on top of that, there's the huge mental load she's carrying, marketing deadlines, constant emails. She's just exhausted.
That is such a crucial connection. Stress is the great libido killer. When Emily's body is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone, her mind just trees. It automatically starts triaging.
Right.
It shuts down anything it sees as non-essential.
Yeah.
And you know what's at the top of that list? Erotic imagination.
It's a luxury you can't afford when you're in survival mode.
Exactly. Desire needs mental space to grow. It needs a quiet mind. And her stress levels just aren't leaving any room for that.
So you've got these two huge challenges. The high stress blocking her mental space and the routine blocking any kind of dopamine response. How on earth does she talk about this without just crushing her partner?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, how do you say I'm bored without actually using the word bored?
The communication strategy in the material is, I think, brilliant because it reframes the whole thing. It's not a critique. It's a shared goal.
Okay.
So instead of criticizing what they do, the suggestion is to frame it positively. Something like, I want us to explore more together. I miss feeling excited with you. I want us to grow in this area.
So it's about us and we, not you.
Exactly. It focuses on a shared future, not a failed past.
That sounds great, but if you've been feeling this way for a while, is that really enough? I mean, does the source mention how the partner should react? Because hearing, I want to explore, could easily sound like, I'm not enough.
It does. And it says this conversation has to be paired with a real focus on non-sexual intimacy. Emily even said they barely touched, outside of, like, a quick goodnight kiss.
Oh, that's a huge red flag.
It is. If that baseline physical affection, holding hands, long hugs, sitting close, if that's gone, the erotic connection doesn't stand a chance. That non-sexual touch is what rebuilds safety and connection. It's the foundation.
Okay, that gives us a really clear picture for Emily. Now let's pivot completely because Laura's challenge is coming from a totally different place.
It really is. It's rooted in the body.
Yeah. Laura's 42, 15 years into her marriage, and she's got all the classic symptoms of early perimenopause. Decreased desire, sure, but also physical things.
Very physical. Vaginal dryness, pain, a burning feeling during intercourse, and then other symptoms like night sweats.
So this is where understanding the biology is just, it's everything. This isn't just in her head. That pain is real. What's actually happening inside her body.
It's a direct result of decreasing estrogen levels. As estrogen drops, the vaginal tissue itself, it gets thinner, less elastic, and much less lubricated.
Which makes intimacy painful.
It makes it painful. And that pain creates this just devastating psychological loop. The body, being smart, goes into a protective mode. It starts to associate intimacy with pain and obligation, and it shuts down desire to protect itself.
So desire goes away as a defense mechanism.
Exactly. And the source stresses this over and over. This is a common hormonal transition. It's not a personal failure.
Okay, so first step has to be medical, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to remove the pain or nothing else matters. What are the solutions the material talks about?
For the dryness and pain, the sources really highlight local estrogen therapy. This means low-dose creams or rings or tablets that are applied directly.
So it's not systemic. It's not like the HRT that people worry about.
That is the crucial distinction. It's absorbed locally, right where it's needed, to restore that tissue. It's very effective and very low risk compared to systemic HRT, which affects the whole body.
Okay, that's a really important clarification. What else?
Well, simple lubricants have to be part of the picture, but it takes some experimentation. Laura found that some water-based ones caused irritation, so she had to switch to silicone-based.
You have to find what works for you.
You do. And they also push for a full medical checkup. Blood work checking estrogen, testosterone, thyroid, iron, because libido problems are almost never just one thing.
And even once the pain is managed, Laura still has to deal with the fact that her body is just different now. What worked when she was 25 isn't going to work at 42.
Precisely. The material notes that women in their 40s often need, significantly more time for arousal, more dedicated foreplay, more external stimulation. It requires patience. It's an evolution, not an ending.
So we have these two women. Emily needs novelty and less stress. Laura needs hormones and a new approach to arousal. Let's synthesize this because some of the solutions really do seem to apply to everyone.
They absolutely do. And the core psychological tool, the one recommended for both of them, is all about removing performance pressure. Which brings us to sensate focus exercises.
Okay, sensate focus sounds clinical. I can just imagine a couple that's already disconnected trying these structured touch exercises and feeling, I don't know, a little silly.
And you're right, it can feel awkward at first. But the material emphasizes the goal is not sex. It's not penetration. It's not orgasm.
The goal is just touch.
The goal is just to touch, to connect, and to notice sensation without any pressure for an outcome. It forces you to slow down. And when that goal-oriented pressure is gone, desire often finds the space to come back on its own.
It reframes intimacy as curiosity instead of a task, which leads right to this quote we found that I just love. If you don't explore your own pleasure, you can't guide someone else. For both of them, solo exploration seems crucial to reconnecting the brain and the body.
Absolutely. And then you layer on top of that the non-negotiable lifestyle stuff. Prioritizing sleep isn't just generic advice. It's because poor sleep spikes cortisol, which directly suppresses libido.
Same with physical activity, right? It's not just about general health.
No, it's about boosting free testosterone and managing stress. Regular activity helps balance cortisol and gives a little lift to testosterone, which is a key driver for female libido. Plus, the body confidence that comes of it is huge.
Okay, let's go back to Laura's communication challenge for a second. She was terrified her husband would take this personally. What was the specific advice for getting him on her team?
The advice was to be very clear and to have this talk outside the bedroom. Explain that the issues are hormonal, not emotional. Explain that her body just needs different timing, different stimulation now.
And frame it with hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most importantly, frame it as, we are seeking treatment and we are hopeful. That turns it into a shared project, not a personal failing.
This whole deep dive really seems to be about reframe and decline, not as this inevitable thing, but as an opportunity. It really makes you see how shame is the enemy of progress.
And that's the final message from the material. It's one of hope. You're not broken. You're not abnormal. You're not done with your sexuality. The goal is joy and curiosity, not fear.
You know, we started with this idea that stability can kill passion. But the sources offer this fascinating counterpoint. They suggest that women in their 40s and 50s can experience a second wave of sexuality.
They can, once they understand their bodies and use these tools.
It suggests the greatest passion might not be that initial spark, but the conscious, evolved passion that you choose to cultivate together after decades.
It requires intention. It requires work. but the reward is absolutely worth it.
So what does this all mean for you? The next time you feel that lack of spark, the question isn't whether you love your partner. The question is whether you can be intentional about the root cause. So ask yourself, is this a problem of novelty and mental space, or is this a problem of biology and changing physical needs?